to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Deku, he has just fought against number 6. And, well, that fight was a bit more brutal than most of the people watching anticipated. Now, Deku, he has done something that has scarred him. He used a quirk he vowed never to use. In fact, he somewhat traumatized himself with it, since after he used it, he's began to feel its own effects on his body, and on his mind. Now, what I mean by that is, whenever you use this quirk, you pump a small amount into yourself. If your tolerance is not very high to it, you will experience effects worse than those you give it to, since you take more concentrated doses. They are just smaller. Now, that means that these doses are a lot more potent. So, let's pick up directly afterwards. Along with that, All For One has swooped in to save his son from the burning building, along with his friends, Ayama and Sayako. Now, let us continue. He has also given Midoriya a stronger regeneration quirk. So, directly after this, All For One is talking with, well, Inko. Her is still trying to figure out exactly what he's talking about. He cannot be Hisashi. That is not true. Now, she has somewhat been giving her explanations, along with explaining more and more things. The day they met, their honeymoon, more and more information that only those two should know. Now, she has still been trying to come to terms with this, since it's not possible, right? Then again, you can breathe fire and do anything nowadays. Along with the fact that Hisashi, or All For One, has been telling her that he has been looking after their boy, but some things have been happening to him. He has been in multiple instances before, where he's been attacked by villains, but it was not a problem. Until All For One would explain one incident in particular, which left an impact on Midoriya, and the reason why he is, well, possibly unconscious right now. Aside from the fact that he broke his back, he should be fine. Him and his friend have healing quirks now. Her confused. All For One explaining his actual quirk. Midoriya is special because he gained my ability to give and take quirks. Inko a bit surprised. Now, with that being said, let us cut to Midoriya. Midoriya is having a bit of trouble. He is unconscious, but his body still has fear active. So, that is a problem. Midoriya is trying to come to terms with what's going on. Inside of his head, he is basically stuck in one of the worst dreams he's ever had. His body feels like it's burning, his skin feels like it's on fire, pins and needles everywhere. Along with that, what he sees before him is a different course of what happened. Midoriya was holding back, and he didn't use fear. Along with that, he was given a chance to kill the villain. Whenever he didn't take it, the villain decided to take it himself, stabbing Midoriya into the chest, before pulling out his quirk, ripping it out of his body and turning his hands to his family. watching as he would see his mom and dad light on fire, along with his friends burn. Deku feeling his eyes get peeled backwards as he basically watches a building scream, hissing with fire, unable to do anything, being powerless to even stop it. Now, Midoriya would have this dream multiple times in fact, until he does wake up, roughly 4 to 5 hours later. He wakes up screaming, and the doctor is trying to calm him down, pumping him full of more and more of this chemical that he needs. It's a chemical compound that will help calm Deku down. In fact, it is somewhat not working because of this healing quirk. Not number 6, but All For One would walk over, and he would have taken this quirk away from Midoriya, ripping it out of his fragile mind. Now, as soon as he does that, Midoriya would have slammed back down onto the bed, and actually begin to calm down, his heart rate spiking from 150 to roughly lower than that. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he is beginning to slow down. Along with that, his body is trying to use overclock. This is not good. It's basically slowing down time to a point where he can feel everything happening in microseconds, or even less than that. His body is pushing overclock to its absolute limit right now, since his fight or flight instinct is going haywire. Him basically being strapped down. Now, with that being said, enough time would pass, and Midoriya would recover from this, since he was in a fragile state. Now, along with that, he would want to go see Sayako, and Ayama would be with him, telling him that he was lucky. Apparently, your dad gave her a quirk to help her. We're not sure how much it's going to, though, so, well, she might be like this for a while. Deku seeing the situation and getting angry at himself. He failed to protect people. That's not good. Midoriya is somewhat tearing up and having a mental breakdown, along with a relapse. These two are not good to have. Now, eventually, he would have calmed down. But let us cut to a couple years later, roughly around the start of the anime. Now, Midoriya, he has been more cold and calculating in this time. Along with that, things have been getting more difficult. His friend, well, she, hasn't talked to him in quite a long time. She has woken up, yes, and, well, she's taken this quirk, along with her super intelligence quirk. Deku, he let her keep that, although she is willing to keep the secret about All For One, although she is unwilling to reach out once more, at least being thankful that she was saved. Midoriya having to find another quirk to fill this one's gap. Now, with that being said, this is going to take time. Midoriya, he is walking around, and he's actually with Gigantomachia. Gigantomachia, he is just keeping guard up and looking at everything going on around him, making sure to help keep Deku safe. Deku should be fine though, and in fact, he should be okay. He's just thinking more and more, and he actually does want to see if he can find some better super strength quirks or some better healing quirks possibly even another movement speed quirk. He doesn't want to be too slow anymore. He needs to get a couple more. Now, with that being said, he would use Overclock and begin to look throughout the gym and actually pay attention more and more to people. For Midoriya, it has felt like roughly 2 minutes have passed, and he is moving throughout the gym, looking at different people's quirks, their information about them, and actually doing so, until he would have stopped using Overclock, and he would return back to the position he was in. This being a bit odd. Some people do look at Midoriya, but they don't care. And Midoriya, he's actually looking around. There's some people with weird quirks, there's a good one, and in fact a guy with engines has just ran past him. Him actually looking back to see the guy. His quirk is engines, his name is, well, Tenya. The dude must be in a hurry then. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would just be ready. And he's looking around more and more and more, finding this to be a bit odd, or even intriguing. As he does find someone with an odd quirk. He finds a girl with a quirk somewhat like Mount Lady's. Name, Kendo. Quirk, big hands. So, that should be interesting. Now, Deku would approach this girl and actually get her attention. Somewhat putting on a fake face as he actually does begin to use Overclock, along with a form of his telekinesis. Now, he actually is talking with her and asking her exactly what is she doing. Is she gonna train for something? Her basically just saying, yeah, she's gonna train for UA. Deku using Overclock. Since he's able to move faster than light speed, he's able to see exactly someone's facial expressions. Over the last couple of years, he has been using it to try and master manipulation. He can talk to someone and figure out exactly what they may be thinking, and, well, what to say next. Giving him a charisma boost, if you will. This allowing Deku to get a lot more intelligent. Along with his intelligence quirk, using it side by side, you might as well give Deku the entire playbook. Now, with that being said, Midoriya would just ask her exactly, is she planning to go to UA? What? Yeah, I do, actually. Why? Oh, that's quite interesting. I plan to go there too, but, well, you don't seem very confident in your quirk. Her just looking at Midoriya, putting on a tough face, wanting to yell at him but staying calm. Deku's saying that he's quite aware that, well, that's none of his business, but he believes that he could help her. In fact, it could be quite interesting. Now, in this time, Midoriya has gotten more and more quirks. He has gotten 10. And in fact, he has been gathering more and more followers. Over this time, he has been doing favors, giving and taking people's quirks, as to show that All For One lives, to show that the second coming is here. He has followers who would not be against giving up their quirks. Along with that, All Might, he is beginning to get a lot more suspicious. He is trying to catch All For One, but anytime he thinks to get close to it, it's always disappeared. Now, with that being said, that is because of a hero deep undercover with All For One. They know the hero organization. In fact, they aren't new to it. They are using a body augmentation quirk to maintain a cover close to All Might. This will be interesting, however. This cover identity should be well known as a hero. Now, with that being said, Deku would just begin talking with her more and more, telling her that if she does need help, then to just simply ask. In fact, here, Deku just holding out his hand, saying that his name is Shigaraki, and he can help her quite a lot. Her, someone just holding it out and shaking it, confused and skeptical. The look on her face is telling Midoriya everything he needs. She doesn't believe I can help her, and in fact, she's wondering what my quirk is. Well, don't want to leave her waiting. Deku just saying that this is his quirk. Him nearly just bolting across the room, using air jets to fly forwards. And in fact, beginning to use more and more of his quirks. Whenever he lunged forward with the air jet, he does make it unknown to what he did, since there was no gust of wind. And he would have immediately just gone straight into the wall, as he would have just pushed off of it and head upwards. This being quite a large gym. Her basically watching Deku do this. Him telling her that this is quite easy to do, as he does float down. Her a bit confused at what his quirk is now. She thought it was a movement quirk, or strength. What? Deku just saying that he actually does have a weird quirk. But it's, well, quite versatile. As he walks over to one of the benches and picks up roughly about the weight there. The weight is about 200 to 500 pounds. Somewhere in the middle, Deku just picking it up with one arm and holding it there, saying that in fact he does do quite a lot of training. And if he does train her, then things will be getting a lot easier. Now, Deku is manipulating Kendo, telling her things that she wants to hear. He can help her get stronger. He can help her do quite a lot of other things. And in fact, it could be quite useful. Now, with that being said, Kendo will be talking more and more with Deku, and finding this to be a bit interesting. Now, Deku would have eventually left with Gigantomachia, the two leaving. As Midoriya, it is later in the afternoon, and apparently, he does need to go somewhere tomorrow. His headphones have been getting a bit buggy, so he needs to get better ones. Quite annoying. Along with that, he believes that his other target should be there. Earphone Jack. Then what was her name? Deku just going over his papers. His targets are quite simple. In fact, they're all going to go to UA. Quite interesting. Now, along with that, he does know of one target that may be here yet, or may not be here. Deku proceeding to go to a nearby store. Now, whenever he goes there, he does actually wait a minute, and begin to look around, waiting until he sees the name, Shota Todoroki. Perfect. Deku walking up to him, and beginning to put his plan into place. He needs allies. So, what better way to get allies than promises of power? Deku walking up to him, and asking questions, telling him that he needs a bit of a favor. Todoroki somewhat just shaking Midoriya off. Before Midoriya does say, why don't you use the other side? Now, Todoroki would have been a bit annoyed. He does have his face covered though, so clearly he's hiding something. Deku just saying that, it's fine, right? I can't tell by your face, but I can at least tell one thing. You're wondering how I know that. It's quite simple. You're quite famous. But, then again, so am I. Todoroki just staring at Midoriya, confused as to what he's even saying, or what he's even talking about. Deku just saying that he has a little quirk that you would find interesting. And in fact, I believe I can help you with your problem. Todoroki just pulling down this face mask, looking at Midoriya. Now, Midoriya would see his scar, thinking that that's at least a nasty one. I can also fix that, you know, right? Todoroki just pulling Deku outside, and asking exactly what is he doing. You can't fix my problem. I don't want this stupid quirk. Oh, that's it. What do you mean that's it? Well, I can give and take quirks at a leisurely. Just hold out your hands. Todoroki, skeptical, and a bit intrigued. So, you're gonna take my fire away, is that right? Well, I believe I can, yes. Deku taking away Todoroki's fire. Todoroki a bit confused. He does hold out his right arm. Ice. Then he holds out his left arm. Nothing. Him being a bit surprised. That's it? What do you want? Is that it? That's all? Was that all? Well, actually, no. In fact, I believe you now owe me. I have a bit of a plan, and I want your part in it. I believe it will also involve getting back at your father. Todoroki staring down Midoriya. Before he does actually say that, along with that, he does have a friend, a mutual one, in fact. You might be surprised to see him. He says he knows you, and in fact, he remembers whenever you were a child. Things weren't as complicated. Todoroki confused. He doesn't have friends, or well, even the ones he does have, they don't really know him like that. Most of the ones he has are from school, he just usually was training and hanging out at home. Deku just saying that in fact, this friend of his, he said his name was Toya, said that might mean something to you. Todoroki just staring Midoriya down, and his expression going from surprise to shock and horror. How does Midoriya even know this? That isn't supposed to be like that. Now, with that being said, Midoriya would begin to talk with Todoroki, saying that he knows quite a lot of other things, along with his relationship with his mother and his father. Yikes, I thought my parents were bad. Midoriya just going on to state that, if he wants to, he can get back at him, but it would not be easy. And in fact, I do believe I owe you something else. Midoriya holding out his hand. Todoroki skeptical about it. Deku telling him to just take it. In fact, he doesn't need this one. He believes that it will be very useful. Todoroki holding out his hand, hesitantly. Deku handing off a different quirk. Or well, his fire quirk. Todoroki handed him one, so why not hand him his? Deku just saying that this is not your father's fire. In fact, if you want to, we can get your father's fire. And truly show him what it's like to be the ones who are in the shadow of the society. Todoroki somewhat just well nodding, and asking where is he supposed to meet. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next parts. And as you can clearly tell, something is going on with Midoriya. Exactly what is it? There's been a bit more changes in him recently. Anyway guys, I do hope you enjoyed.